When I came home, the house was quiet. Too quiet for a birthday. The kind of silence that hums. The dining table was still set, balloons sagging under the ceiling light. A half-melted cake sat in the middle, 13 candles leaning like tired soldiers. And my son, he was in the kitchen, alone. He didn't look up when I walked in. His small hands clutched a fork, but the cake on his plate hadn't been touched. Tears had dried on his cheeks, leaving pale streaks like scars. "Where's everyone?" I asked. He whispered without looking at me. "They said there wasn't a seat for me." A hollow sound escaped my throat, not quite a word. He added softly, "Grandma said the table was full." I looked toward the dining room, 6 chairs, 6 plates, and 1 missing seat. My wife's mother had made him eat in the kitchen on his birthday. I didn't yell, didn't storm into that room. I only stared at that empty chair and felt something cold take root inside me. That night, after everyone left, I asked my wife why. She avoided my eyes, called it a misunderstanding. "Mom didn't mean it that way," she said. "You know how she is." But I did know how she was. Every visit was a test. Every comment was a blade wrapped in politeness. "He's too quiet. He doesn't look like you. Maybe you're too busy working to notice." Little cuts, each one deliberate. I told myself it was just her bitterness, the kind that rots slowly over years. But that night, as I stood in my son's room and watched him sleep, I couldn't stop hearing her words. "He doesn't look like you." It wasn't the first time she'd said it, and this time, it didn't sound like poison. It sounded like truth disguised as cruelty. The next week, I began watching, quietly. I watched how my wife avoided eye contact when I mentioned her mother, how she snapped defensively when I said our son had her smile. I noticed the old photos, carefully rearranged on the mantel, one missing from the frame. I didn't ask, I just waited. When she said she was visiting her mother on Saturday, I nodded. Then I checked her phone after she slept. It was unlocked. Habitual trust. One message stood out, a name I hadn't seen before, her mother's number saved under it. A thread of conversations, deleted often, but not carefully enough. Words that didn't belong in family chats. Dates, times, mentions of before the wedding. That night, I sat in the dark beside my son's door. I listened to him breathe, the soft rise and fall of innocence that might not be mine. The thought didn't break me, it sharpened me. I sent a DNA test kit on Monday. 2 swabs, 2 envelopes. No emotion, just logistics. When the results arrived, I didn't open them right away. I sat at the table where my son never got to sit. The chair felt heavier than before. Then I opened it and read. The numbers didn't lie. The world, however, had. I stared at my wife as she came in later that evening, smiling, distracted, humming softly as she set her bag down. "Long day?" she asked. I slid the envelope across the table. She looked confused at first. Then she read. Her face drained of color. Her hands trembled, then stilled. No denial, no pleading, just the slow collapse of a person realizing their secret is no longer safe. I didn't speak, didn't ask why. Some answers don't deserve sound. That night, I baked another cake, same flavor, same candles, 13 small flames. I woke my son gently. "Come on," I whispered, "we're going to Grandma's." He didn't understand, but he trusted me. We drove in silence. The night air was thick, almost liquid. When we reached her house, I placed the cake on her porch table. I knocked once, waited. When she opened the door, she froze. My son stood beside me, confused but brave. She looked at me, then the cake, then the test results I placed beside it. No words, no anger, just the truth, silent, brutal, and complete. Then I took my son's hand and turned away. Behind us, the wind blew out the candles one by one. By morning, I'd moved our things out. No shouting, no explanation, just absence. The house felt lighter, quieter. He laughed again that evening, first time in months. Sometimes I wonder if he'll ever know the whole story. Maybe one day he will, maybe not. But I've learned something my wife never did. Cruelty doesn't need to be loud to leave scars. And silence, when used right, can be the most unforgettable revenge of all.